Welcome back to the Hood Table. One more again, hoodies. This is your girl Tanya coming at you with another The Hood Table podcast. And we are going to be covering more of the R. Kelly sex trafficking trial. Now, in this podcast, we're going to go over some more testimony that we heard yesterday. And the witness went by the name of Alicia Mayweather. Now, for some of y'all who might be sleeping under a rock, R. Kelly is facing multitude of charges from sex trafficking to forced labor and violations of the Mann Act, racketeering, sexual exploitation of children, and kidnapping. Allegedly, the singer would entice girls, boys, and young women before dominating and controlling them physically, sexually, and psychologically. Now, yesterday, well, actually, before we get to that, on day 9 of the trial, we heard from Suzette Mayweather. Mayweather had claimed to have overheard or later learned of women being physically abused by the singer. Mayweather and Kelly, after knowing each other for decades, came to have somewhat like a brother sister relationship. Still, yet, even though she had also become his personal assistant in 2015, he was very strict with her as well. She testified in court how the two of them would even get into arguments during the 16 months that she had worked for him. Then on the stand, Mayweather testified how her pay was once docked because she allowed one of Kelly's girls to leave a van to use the restroom without his permission. He didn't just dock her either. He also made her write an apology letter like something you would do to a small child. Now, back to yesterday. Yesterday on Tuesday, we heard from Mayweather's twin sister, Alicia Mayweather, who sometimes worked alongside her sister, Suzette. Alicia Mayweather was also a personal assistant to R. Kelly. During Tuesday's trial of this week, Alicia told the jury of her concern with one of Kelly's 18-year-old girlfriends. In court, Alicia read from dozens of text messages between her, Kelly, and other employees from the time that she was employed by the singer. On one particular day in May of 2016, Mayweather was in charge of the 18-year-old girl who had slept overnight on a tour bus. The bus was parked outside the chocolate factory, R. Kelly's music studio. The girlfriend, who in court was referred to as Jane, per Mayweather, looked rough. So she texts R. Kelly's stylist to voice her concerns of the girl looking rough and having puffy eyes, to which Mayweather suggested that the 18-year-old should go back home to her home in Florida and never come back. When she gets to Florida, she should never come back, Mayweather wrote in the text message. She should be living the life of an 18-year-old high school senior. And in another text, she added, something is really strange about the treatment and behavior of the little one. The punishment is real. This Jane that Alicia was testifying about had actually testified earlier in the trial. Jane Doe number 5 is what she went by. Jane had told the jury that in 2015, after one of R. Kelly's Orlando concerts, she met Kelly at a hotel when she was a 17-year-old high school student. She had told the jury how when she had to use the facilities, she had to urinate in big cups from a gas station if Kelly wasn't around to get permission to use the facilities. Jane also stated that she ended up spending the rest of her summer before her senior year of high school in Chicago, being confined to hotels or Kelly's studio. When Jane Doe number 5 testified, she recounted how at the end of that first summer, she finally got courage to admit to Kelly that she was underage because when they first met, she told him that she was 18. In response to her confession, the singer open handedly slapped her in the face right in the middle of eating hot dogs in Lincoln Park. He then stood up laughing and walked away from her. But him, knowing that he could be in trouble once again for being with an underage girl, later returned to find her at the park and convinced her to go back with him. Then we also heard from Jane Doe, number 5, how angry and furious she was to find out that she had contracted herpes from Kelly. If you can recall, when Jane Doe number 5 had started to have vaginal pains every time she and Kelly would have intercourse, Kelly joked that maybe he was just too big for her. The pain, however, persisted and got more extreme to the point where it was hard for Jane Doe number 5 to even walk. So Kelly had one of his female entourages to escort Jane to the hospital. Juice was the name of that female entourage. Juice, as stated in courts weeks ago, was actually a family friend of Kelly. You know, The family friend who usually was the one to bring more women to R. Kelly for sexual escapades. Yeah, that's the one they spoke about in court a while back. And from what Suzette Mayweather said on the stand, Juice was not exempt from punishment either. Juice gets punished too, Kelly told Mayweather, she testified. From what we can make of it, anyone, any employee, girlfriend, male, female, anyone could face punishment from the singer. Among other occasions, Jane also alleged the singer forced her to have an abortion. He had expressed he still wanted me to keep my type body and that he wanted to start a family when he got rid of the other girls, Jane stated in court. So this is the Jane who Aliciette was referring to in court yesterday. And again, Aliciette, just like her sister, never witnessed R. Kelly abusing any of the girls, but she described situations where the younger women appear to have been hurt by Kelly. Aliciette, among many, have testified of the punishments people face when dealing with the singer. She said that she didn't quite understand why Kelly would make a young girl sleep on a tour bus when there were plenty of bedrooms in his home. When Alicia was cross examined by Devereaux Kennick, Kelly's defense attorney, he suggested that Jane needed to finish her schoolwork to graduate high school. Kennick also referred to the bus as being luxurious, with beds, fridge, and a microwave. Even though the singer often traveled the country in the vehicle, Alicia didn't relate to it as being a luxury at all. So that is another testimony that we heard about in court yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, September 14th. I did a video earlier of the court date, Monday, September 13th. So if you haven't checked that one out, please go ahead and listen to that podcast as well. And again, as this trial continues, I will keep you guys updated on the trial. I really hate that it is a closed trial, and a lot of what we're hearing about the trial is just coming from different newspapers or different websites, but that's just how we got to do it nowadays, when we're dealing with the pandemic, which is the reason why the judge closed off the courtroom from the public. But anyway, please let me know in the comments what you're thinking about the trial so far, what you thought about some of the latest accusers or their testimonies, and make sure again you like and share the video and subscribe to the Hood Table, and also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, and also our personal website, which is thehoodtable.com. And on that note, everybody, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. Bye.